Saint Lawrence is among the earliest and most widely venerated martyrs in the Roman Catholic Church. He was likely born in the early 3rd century, possibly in Spain, though his life and heroic witness are inseparably tied to the city of Rome during one of the fiercest waves of persecution under Emperor Valerian. According to the Liber Pontificalis and the Depositio Martyrum, Lawrence was one of 7 deacons who served directly under Pope Sixtus II, assisting in the administration of the Church, especially in managing its goods and distributing aid to the poor. On August 6th or 7th of the year, 258, Pope Sixtus II was arrested, along with 4 other deacons, while celebrating Mass in the cemetery of Calixtus. They were executed shortly afterward. Lawrence, however, was held back for 3 more days. As keeper of the Church's treasures and records, he was ordered to surrender all wealth to the imperial authorities. Instead, he used those final hours to distribute every possession of the Church to the poor, widows, orphans, the blind, the crippled, and all who suffered in the shadows of the empire. When summoned before the Roman prefect to deliver the Church's riches, Lawrence brought with him a procession of the poor and declared, "These are the true treasures of the Church." His declaration was more than defiance, it was a profession of faith. The Church does not belong to Caesar, nor is it defined by silver or gold, but by mercy and by the presence of Christ among the least. According to ancient tradition, passed down by early Church fathers like St. Ambrose and St. Augustine, the enraged prefect ordered Lawrence to be executed by roasting him alive on an iron gridiron. It is said that, even amid the flames, Lawrence kept his peace. One story, preserved in the writings of St. Ambrose, De Officiis Ministrorum, 2:28-140, says he even joked to his executioners, "This side is done. Turn me over." While historians debate the literal accuracy of this method of martyrdom, the Church has long embraced the image of the gridiron as a symbol of his sacrifice. Lawrence's feast is commemorated on August 10th, and his name appears in the most ancient Roman Eucharistic prayer, a rare honor for a martyr who was not an apostle. Early devotion to him was so widespread that at least 34 churches in medieval Rome were dedicated in his name. Most notably, the Basilica of San Lorenzo, fuori Mura, built over the site where he was buried. According to long-standing oral tradition, after his death, Christians risked their lives to retrieve his body and bury it in secret. The place of his burial, outside the walls of Rome, became sacred ground. One story, passed down through generations though lacking historical confirmation, tells of a blind man who was led to the martyr's tomb by friends. Knowing nothing of Lawrence, the man reached out and touched the soil that held his remains. As his fingers sank into the earth, tears welled up in his eyes, and for the first time in his life, he saw light. Lawrence's witness spread quickly, east and west. He was praised by Saints Augustine, Ambrose, and Pope Leo the Great as a model of diaconal service and a beacon of faith for the suffering Church. The courage he showed, the serenity he kept even in the face of a torturous death, has endured through centuries as a living testament to the power of Christ at work in the weak and the faithful. Even now, his story continues to move hearts. St. Lawrence is remembered not simply for how he died, but for how he lived. As a man who poured out everything for the poor, who held nothing back for himself, and who believed, even in his final hour, that love is more powerful than fear. He is the Church's radiant ember, a fire not extinguished by cruelty, but made brighter through the offering of his life. If this story moved your heart, consider subscribing to walk with us through the lives of saints who gave everything for love. One life, one faith, one flame that still burns. Subscribe, and let their witness light your way.